Picture this. It's 11 o'clock at night. You put down your last drink. You don't know it yet, but inside your skull, a biological storm is about to begin. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, within the next 60 minutes, your brain is going to start doing something it hasn't been allowed to do in months, possibly years. And the process that unfolds over the next 30 days is one of the most dramatic neurological transformations the human brain is capable of experiencing. This isn't about willpower. This isn't about motivation or discipline or being strong enough. This is about chemistry. Specifically, it's about what alcohol has been doing to your brain at the molecular level every single day, and what your brain immediately begins doing the moment that chemical stops arriving. What you're about to understand will completely change how you think about alcohol, about dependency, and about the extraordinary resilience hiding inside your own neurology. To understand what happens when you quit, you first need to understand what alcohol was doing while you were drinking. Most people think of alcohol as a relaxant, something that takes the edge off, loosens you up, makes social situations easier. And in the short term, that's exactly how it feels. But that feeling is not alcohol helping your brain. That feeling is alcohol suppressing it. Here's the mechanism. Your brain operates on a constant balance between two opposing chemical systems. The first is your glutamate system. Glutamate is your brain's primary excitatory neurotransmitter. It's the accelerator. It drives neural activity, alertness, learning, memory formation, and cognitive function. The second is your GABA system. GABA is your brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter. It's the brake pedal. It calms neural activity, reduces anxiety, promotes relaxation and sleep. In a healthy brain, these two systems are in constant dynamic balance. Accelerator and brake working together to keep your mental state stable, responsive, and appropriately calibrated to whatever situation you're in. Alcohol hijacks this system in a very specific way. It powerfully enhances GABA activity while simultaneously suppressing glutamate activity. More brake, less accelerator. This is why alcohol makes you feel relaxed, why your inhibitions drop, why anxiety fades, why your thoughts slow down and the tension in your chest loosens after that first drink. Your brain's excitatory system is being chemically suppressed and your inhibitory system is being artificially amplified. But here's what nobody tells you. Your brain is not passive in this process. Your brain is the most adaptive organ in the known universe, and it notices immediately that something is throwing its chemistry off balance. So it compensates. To counteract the artificial increase in GABA activity, your brain starts down-regulating its GABA receptors, making them less sensitive. To counteract the suppression of glutamate, your brain starts up-regulating its glutamate receptors, making them more sensitive. Your brain is essentially recalibrating itself around the presence of alcohol, trying to restore balance. And here is where the trap snaps shut, because now you need alcohol just to feel normal. Without it, your GABA system is underactive and your glutamate system is hyperactive. You feel anxious, irritable, restless, unable to sleep. Your brain has physically restructured itself around a chemical that was never supposed to be there. This is what dependency actually is at the neurological level. Not weakness, not a character flaw, a measurable physical adaptation and receptor density and sensitivity throughout your entire brain. The moment you quit, the clock starts. And what happens in the first hours is intense. Within 1 to 6 hours of your last drink, your glutamate receptors, which have been upregulated to compensate for alcohol suppression, are now suddenly unrestrained. There's no alcohol dampening them anymore, but they're still calibrated for heavy suppression. So they fire aggressively. Your brain's excitatory system goes into overdrive. This is the neurological basis of alcohol withdrawal. Anxiety spikes sharply. Your heart rate increases. Your hands may tremble. You feel a crawling restlessness that's impossible to ignore. In severe cases of long-term heavy drinking, this glutamate storm can become dangerous, triggering seizures. This is why medical supervision matters for heavy drinkers stopping abruptly. But even in moderate cases, this neurological rebound is real, measurable, and deeply uncomfortable. Your brain is not punishing you for quitting. Your brain is recalibrating. The discomfort you feel in those first hours is the sound of your neurology trying to find its baseline again after being pushed off it for so long. By the end of the first 24 to 72 hours, the acute storm begins to settle. Your glutamate receptors start down-regulating back toward baseline sensitivity. Your GABA receptors begin recovering their natural responsiveness. This process is not comfortable. Sleep is fragmented and strange. Your brain's normal sleep architecture has been disrupted because alcohol, while it makes you fall asleep faster, severely suppresses REM sleep, the stage where your brain consolidates memory, processes emotion, and performs critical neural maintenance. For months or years of drinking, your brain has been deprived of adequate REM sleep. When alcohol is removed, something called REM rebound occurs. Your brain throws itself into extended REM cycles, trying to catch up on the repair work it's been unable to do. Dreams become vivid, sometimes overwhelming. This is not a symptom of something going wrong. This is your brain's maintenance crew finally being allowed to do their job. By day 7, something remarkable is beginning to happen inside your prefrontal cortex. This is the region of your brain directly behind your forehead, the seat of decision-making, impulse control, emotional regulation, and forward planning. It is also, not coincidentally, the region most profoundly damaged by chronic alcohol exposure. Alcohol shrinks prefrontal cortex volume. It reduces the density of dendritic connections between neurons in this region. It impairs the production of myelin, the insulating sheath around nerve fibers that determines how fast and efficiently signals travel. By day 7 without alcohol, neuroinflammation in the prefrontal cortex begins measurably decreasing. The brain's immune cells, microglia, which had been in a chronic state of inflammatory activation due to alcohol's neurotoxic effects, begin returning to their resting state. Neural signaling in the prefrontal cortex starts becoming more efficient. People at this stage often report a subtle but unmistakable mental clarity beginning to emerge. A sense that thoughts are slightly sharper, that decisions feel less foggy, that emotional reactions are a little more proportionate. This is not psychological. This is the prefrontal cortex beginning its structural recovery. By day 14, the dopamine system is undergoing its own profound recalibration. Alcohol floods your brain's reward circuitry with dopamine. Every drink delivers an artificial dopamine signal that your brain registers as reward, as pleasure, as something worth repeating. Over time, your brain responds to this artificial flooding by reducing the number of dopamine receptors and decreasing the baseline sensitivity of your reward system. This is why long-term drinkers need more alcohol to feel the same effect. And it's why, without alcohol, everyday pleasures stop feeling pleasurable. Food tastes flat. Music doesn't move you. Conversations feel hollow. This is called anhedonia, the inability to feel normal pleasure. And it is one of the most insidious effects of chronic alcohol use because it makes sobriety feel emotionally gray and unrewarding, which drives people back to drinking. But by day 14, your dopamine receptors begin recovering. Their density and sensitivity start gradually increasing back toward baseline. Foods start tasting better. Small things start producing genuine pleasure again. The emotional flatness begins lifting, not completely, not dramatically, but measurably, noticeably, in a way that most people at this stage describe as feeling like color returning to a gray picture. By day 21, the hippocampus is where the most scientifically remarkable changes are occurring. Your hippocampus is the brain region responsible for memory formation and spatial navigation. It is one of only 2 regions in the adult brain where neurogenesis occurs, meaning the birth of entirely new neurons. Alcohol severely suppresses neurogenesis in the hippocampus. Studies on chronic alcohol exposure show dramatic reductions in the rate of new neuron production in this region. But here's what the research shows when alcohol is removed. Hippocampal neurogenesis rebounds sharply. The production of new neurons accelerates. BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the protein responsible for neuron growth, repair, and the formation of new synaptic connections, begins rising significantly. By day 21, your hippocampus is literally growing new neurons at an accelerated rate. Memory consolidation improves. The ability to learn new information sharpens. Spatial memory recovers. People at this stage frequently report that they're remembering their dreams again, retaining information more easily, and that their thoughts feel more organized and accessible. By day 30, the cumulative effect of everything that has been happening at the cellular level is now visible in behavior, in cognition, in emotional stability, and in neurological measurements. Brain imaging studies on people 30 days into alcohol abstinence show measurable increases in gray matter volume in the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus. The white matter integrity of neural pathways, which determines the efficiency of communication between brain regions, shows significant recovery. Sleep architecture has normalized. REM cycles are healthy. Slow-wave sleep, the stage where the brain clears metabolic waste through the glymphatic system, has recovered its normal depth and duration. Anxiety, which was neurologically induced by glutamate receptor upregulation, has substantially decreased. Emotional regulation has improved because the prefrontal cortex is functioning more effectively. The dopamine reward system has partially or significantly recovered, meaning natural pleasures feel rewarding again without chemical amplification. Here is the thing that matters most about everything you just read. Your brain did all of this on its own. You didn't need a supplement. You didn't need a special protocol. You didn't need anything except removing the chemical that was blocking the process. The human brain has an extraordinary capacity for structural recovery. It is not a fixed, static organ that simply accumulates damage over time. It is a living, dynamic, constantly adapting system that moves toward health the moment you stop creating the conditions for disease. 30 days is not the end of the recovery. Research shows brain recovery continues for months, and in some regions, years after alcohol cessation. But 30 days is enough to see measurable, real, documented neurological change in every major brain region alcohol affects. Your brain was not broken by alcohol. It was adapted to it, and adaptation is reversible. The moment you quit, your brain begins proving that. If this changed how you understand your own neurology, subscribe to this channel. We break down exactly what is happening inside your body at the cellular and molecular level, because understanding the mechanism is the only way to make decisions that are genuinely informed. Like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear that what they're experiencing isn't weakness. It's biology doing exactly what it was designed to do.